Most people build a business and then try to build their life around it. I did the opposite. I built a business that runs on systems so that I could be the actual CEO of that business versus being some day-to-day manager. I'm not in meetings all day, I'm not stuck in Slack messages, and I'm not being consulted with every decision. This video is a deep dive into the 8 systems that make this all possible. No fluff, no BS, just the real systems that help me go and remove myself from operations without everything falling apart. Let's get into it. System number 1 is the decision architecture. Every single day as CEOs, we get hit up with tons of different things that we could be making the decision around. Should I go and sign this invoice? Should we approve this refund? Should we go and post this piece of content? Should we hire this person? Should we fire this person? As founders, as CEOs, you'll only have so much decision-making ability in a given day. The solution isn't making decisions faster, it's making fewer decisions. Here's how the decision architecture works. First off, for every decision that hits your desk in a given week, go and write them down. Then we're gonna go and categorize them into type A, B, or C decisions. Type A decisions are decisions that only you can make. Type B decisions are the kind of decisions that you're currently making, but that someone else could probably make as good, if not better than you. Type C decisions are the kind of decisions that no one should even be making. We could just automate these decisions. So for type A decisions, you're gonna keep these decisions, right? These are CEO level decisions that only you can make. For type B decisions, we're gonna create something called decision trees. We're gonna go and make sure that there's a framework by which someone can easily go and make this decision without even needing you. For type C decisions, these are decisions that you're currently making that you could likely just automate. I have one client that was able to go and implement some of these automations in their business and move from about 200 per week decisions that were in this type C bucket to just 15 that were left for them at the end of it. Pretty insane. This allowed them to get over 10 hours back a week that they could then go and spend, whether it's with their family or friends, and enjoy more freedom in their lives, or double down on the stuff that's in their zone of brilliance to go and help their business grow that much faster. System number 2, your communication firewall. This is genuinely going to save your sanity. I talk to CEOs all the time that in any given day are just being inundated with communication from all directions. The goal is to have a calm company, something that runs on proven systems, that you're able to remove yourself from most of the operations of it, and it just runs on autopilot. Now, you're a CEO, you're not some glorified switchboard operator. Here's the structure. We're gonna go through level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4. Level 1 is emergencies only. And I get it. Right now, it may feel like there's a fire going off every few hours in your business. What I like to get to pretty quickly in any business I'm running is rule number 1. There are no emergencies. You need to have people in place like a chief of staff, a COO, a CTO that are going and blocking and tackling your time and being your first line of defense against any of these emergencies. Level 2 is then same day response. This is things like Slack messages, emails, and all of that. One key thing you can start putting in place is a chief of staff, someone to go and help you with all of this internal communication so that you don't need to be in all of that. And they can just bubble up the core communication that you actually need to worry about, which if they're doing their job right, hopefully is less than 3 or so a day. Level 3 is your weekly batch. In my teams, we have a leadership meeting every single week, whether it's leaders trying to get answers from me on core things or me trying to get responses from them. When in doubt, I'm generally going and just pooling all of my requests into that meeting so they can all get answered in one go over an hour-long meeting, and then we can split, move along, and I can get back to my focus regimen and they can get to theirs as well. And then we just go and divide and conquer. And as questions or challenges or opportunities come up, boom, that's what our Tuesday leadership meeting is for. Not sporadic emails, not pointless Slack messages. Leave it for the leadership meeting. Level 4 is your monthly strategic meetings. And so this is things like bigger team planning, bigger questions, bigger initiatives that we want to make sure everyone's updated on. What I've seen work best for a lot of this stuff is to have a team jam every single month. And what we simply do is give a bit of a recap of the big wins of the month. We then jam around the vision for the company and how that ladders into what we're looking to accomplish the next month. And then we open up the floor for a team brainstorm on how we can go and create things like exceptional content for you, the founder. All right, so you've got your communication firewall in place, but now it's time to actually get an amazing delegation framework into your business. So system number 3, the delegation framework. Most founders neglect this, and what ends up happening is they've got amazing people on their team, but they're not actually leveraging these humans to the fullest of their capabilities. I know many of you have asked me for delegation help, and this is exactly my system for doing it. It has 3 parts. Let's get into it. Part number 1 is the brain dump. You've got to go and audit your calendar and your to-do list for every single task that you've worked on over the last month. Go and document every single task you've done. Number 2, the quality filter. At this point, what you want to go and do is go and mark every single one of those tasks that you probably should not be doing any longer and that you could better give to someone on your team that can do it as good or better than you. So you've gone and you've listed all the tasks. You've now assigned it to someone on your team. Here is where the magic comes in. We want to go and make sure that there's a Google Doc system for that given thing that allows people to go and simply execute that system and do it as well as us. And then the second thing we're going to do is make sure that there's a Loom video for every single thing we're delegating. Now, I get it. You could be thinking, Matt, that's crazy. That's so much work. You know what's more work than that? You doing it. So part number 3 is the feedback loop. You've now gone and handed off that system and the Loom video to someone on your team so they could be the systems owner going forward. The key thing now is that they feel comfortable with that they feel like they know the ropes and they're able to implement it correctly. So what you're going to do is when you go and hand that off and that person's now owning it, you're going to check in with them a week later and say, what is your confidence level with this on a scale of 1 to 10? The key thing is implementing each of these 3 parts to go and make sure that you have the right delegation system in place in your company. To go and get the most of the structure you're building, you need the great systems and people trained on them. And this is exactly what the delegation framework is going to help you do. System number 4, the approval matrix. This is where it's all about determining what sort of decisions people are allowed to be making, especially as it pertains to money. I like to think of it generally that there's 3 different rungs here, right? You have your individual contributors, you have your team leads, and you have executives. When it comes to level 1, your individual contributors, right? This is people, that are maybe writers on your team, right? Or maybe it's someone on the sales squad. Inevitably, what you may say is they're allowed to make decisions that are $2,000 or less. They're welcome to go and suggest a new piece of software and pull the trigger on it. They are welcome to go and run certain discounts or promotions on your stuff, assuming it's no more than $2,000. But anything more than that leads to level 2. This is where the team leads come in. So team leads, you may deem that these people are the ones that need to make decisions between $2,000 and $30,000. So they can go and approve a new hire. They can go and implement a little team dinner or retreat. They must be consulted though with any decision between $2,000 and $30,000. That leads us then to the next level, right? Any decisions over $30,000. This is where it must go by an executive. It's when we're making bigger decisions and strategic decisions that are going to influence the company direction in a big way. We're going to make sure that we bring those to the executives on the team because they are the ones that have the approval to make those kinds of decisions. Set thresholds based on what you can afford to lose, not what just makes you comfortable. I'd much rather my team make 50 small decisions and make some mistakes along the way than me micromanaging every little decision along the way. System number 5, the information dashboard. The truth is, you need data to run your business, but you don't need to be buried in it. I see some founders that are tracking like 60 metrics across their business, and I think it's just information overload. Most businesses can be run off of an acronym that is ACDC, just like that rock band. ACDC stands for attract, convert, deliver, collect. Attract is your ability to go and attract people that you can sell to. Convert is your ability to then convert those people to your product or service. Deliver is your ability to go and give people an amazing customer experience. And then collect is your ability to actually go and collect the cash that is owed to you. What I like to do is across these 4 categories to come up with 3 key metrics that determine the success of that given area. So then I go and I put each of these metrics into a Google Sheet and be able to track it on a weekly basis. So on each of those leadership meetings, we can see how we're doing across these 12 core key metrics that are across attract, convert, deliver, and collect. Now, I've gone and made a template that you can go and download via the link in the description so you can go and implement this with your team today. So now your team's rocking and rolling, they've got their scoreboard, and you think things are going to go well, but inevitably, some problem comes up, and that's where system number 6 comes in. The escalation protocol has 3 different levels. So level 1 are decisions that your team could just handle. And this is about 80% of things that are escalated. Adding a user to Slack, adding someone to Gmail. These are simple decisions. Now, level 2 are manager escalations. These are about 15% of escalations, right? Maybe someone's underperforming, not doing what they should be doing. Maybe someone needs to be fired, or there's potentially a new hiring request, right? These are things that your manager can generally handle, leaving the rest, level 3, as founder level escalations, which should just be 5%. This is a new strategic change in the direction of the company, or maybe you're fundraising, or you're looking to make some massive new product. Either way, these should be limited. And the reality is that most decisions should be filtered down to level 1 or level 2, leaving only 5% at level 3 so the founder can focus. I like to use what I call the 10-10-10 rule. I'm going to ask myself, is this thing going to matter in 10 minutes, 10 months, or 10 years? If it's not going to matter in 10 minutes, my team can just go and answer it. If it's something that's going to matter in 10 months that we need to answer on, a manager can handle it. If it's something that we're not sure about that's going to impact us in 10 years, yeah, that's something that I'm happy to help with. Now let's get to system number 7, the automation stack. Now, most founders think about automation wrong, right? They try to just suddenly go and start automating everything. I think you want to go and indicate different tiers of automations and start banging them out one by one, but in this order. Tier 1 are administrative decisions, invoicing, payment processing, some of the nitty-gritty stuff that really no one on your team should be handling out the gate. Tier 2 is then marketing automation. Inside of FounderOS, as an example, we use HubSpot for all of our marketing needs. And so when we're going and onboarding a new customer, we're printing the invoice for that person, we're then upselling them, and we're tracking our analytics from our actual payments to our traffic and understanding which pieces of content are performing best. Everything is held in a HubSpot dashboard in one spot so we can track the effectiveness of our marketing. And I don't even need to hire anyone around analytics because HubSpot just shows me. Tier 3 are operations automation. And so when you're going and thinking about what to automate next, you want to be thinking about the tasks that are going and taking up the majority of your time that are probably the easiest to automate, and just getting those low-hanging fruit off your plate as fast as possible. From there, over time, you're moving from admin tasks to more marketing automations to more of your operational automations, right? But tackle them generally in that order. I've seen clients go and implement this, be able to save 20 hours a week of their time, which inevitably just helps them grow their brand that much faster because they're investing their time on the decisions that only they can do. System number 8 is the replacement test. What this all comes down to is, can you go and walk away from your business for 4 weeks and come back to a business that's stronger than when you left? It doesn't matter what happens, you have escalation protocols in place. It doesn't matter what happens, you have decision frameworks in place and the right person has been delegated given tasks. This allows you to walk away from your business and experience peace of mind. You can sleep at night knowing you're no longer essential to your business anymore. The team has got it handled. I know when I first experienced this around a decade ago in my second business, it blew my mind. I had been running Herb from the inside for so many years and finally was able to get myself out of it and watch it run even better without me. It was pure magic. It made me feel so inspired, and it actually helped me go and invent new things for the business that completely transformed the trajectory of that business. We were able to go invent new dashboards, new analytics tools, because I finally had the opportunity to just think and ponder and strategize and scheme and plot the important things that so many of us founders get no time to do. Now, here's the critical part, right? You can't implement all 8 of these systems all at once. And that's why I've gone and created the 30-day CEO transformation via the link in the description. I went and spent about 12 hours with my team to go and put this together so you had a clear action plan on how to actually go and implement all 8 systems that I went over in this video. So go and check that out via the link in the description. This is your transformation, your business, your life. You have the choice to make. You can not implement these systems and keep going how you're going, working 70-hour weeks, constantly dealing with fires. Or you can go and implement these 8 systems in your business and transform where you are and become the CEO you were destined to be. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.